Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 of the Inside the Dam podcast, a great partnership between us, the broadcasting department, and the Minot State Athletic Department as we get an inside look into student athletes everywhere on Minot State campus. As always, we are sponsored by Papa John's. Be sure to check out their MSU special. If you show your MSU ID, you can get a large 2-topping pizza for $7.99, only if you show a valid MSU ID at the Papa John's location here in Minot. We have a great show for you guys today. Another 3 guests on this one. We're going to be joined by Jaycie Rostad of softball. We also have Leif Nelson from men's track and field. And then to wrap it all up, maybe depending on what the circumstances are, we'll have Jay Buchholz join us a second time for his second appearance on the Inside the Dam podcast. But without further ado, a catcher and a Minot High alum from MSU softball. Joining us now is Jaycie Rostad. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Jaycie. So the season is approaching really fast here. And, this weekend, is it this weekend? I think it's this weekend. You just talk about how's the team doing right now and at this time, and how excited are you guys for the season?
Yeah, like you said, it's approaching fast. It kind of feels like you practice, and then all of a sudden game day's here, right? So I think we're all just kind of itching to get games under our belts, and we're excited just to get the season rolling.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new with this team, especially with a brand new head coach. Just talk about her a little bit. How fun is she to work with so far?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's great. Kind of going into the season, you don't really know what to expect. It's kind of all, like you said, new. Kind of bound to have some hurdles to jump over kind of thing, but I think our team's done a really good job of adjusting, and we got lucky and have 3 new coaches that really have a vision for what they want for our team, and I'm excited to see where they take us.
And it's also really cool to have some former players become grad assistants and then grad assistants into kind of the coaching circles a little bit. Talk about Zoya Robbins a little bit. How big of an impact has she been for you girls now moving on from a player to a coach?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's great. She brought the energy as a player, and it kind of followed her with her coaching career as well. So she's really great to have around us, someone we can go talk to if we just want to bring something up, have questions, anything. She's always there for us.
So you guys start the season off with a couple of bubble invites, the first one and the second one, I believe back-to-back weekends. Just talk about that a little bit, maybe some of the teams. Have you guys started to kind of look at some of the competition, what they might bring, and what are you guys looking forward to the most with these couple games here to start?
Yeah, like I said, just excited to get the season rolling. Home opener against UMary, so that's always fun, one of our big rivals. Just excited to get the season rolling, excited to see where the season goes and everything, and I think we're all just itching to get going.
Talk about sort of expectations for the team this year. Obviously, a new coach, things going to be a little bit different this time around, but what are some goals that the coach has or coaches have laid out for you girls this year?
Yeah, I think every day we just want to get 1% better. So every day in practice, we're grinding, working towards game days, want to practice like we are going to play in a game and everything. So that's kind of just the standard that we set. We want to do everything game-like in practice. So when we get to the game seems easy to us.
Talk about, is there a different feel? I mean, you guys play conference opponents, but is there a different feel between conference and non-conference bubble games? I know you guys play UMary, like you mentioned in this first bubble invite. I don't think it's considered a conference game, correct me if I'm wrong, but is there just a different feel between that and, actually really getting into it against the division rivals?
I think our team does a pretty good job of kind of every game is a game. It doesn't matter whether it's preseason, fall ball, or conference play. I think we kind of know in the back of our minds that in every game counts, so we want to play to the best of our abilities every single game.
And sometimes you girls also like to have a little bit of fun here and there. I've been noticing on social media some of the dance battles. I know you girls are preparing for that upcoming MSU Athletics dance battle. Just talk about that a little bit. How fun have some of the practices been, and what have you girls been working on without maybe giving up too many secrets?
Yeah, our team loves to have a good time. I know, we make TikToks constantly at practices, before practices get rolling and everything. So just a group of girls that loves to dance, have a good time at prior to practices, and really excited for the dance battle, like you said. Might have a couple surprises for you, but yeah, I think things will go well for us in that one.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun
Yeah.
and a lot of good stuff on the field there, Jaycie. Let's move to in the classroom. So the Miles Brand All Academic Award in the NSIC. Tell us about that and how proud are you of taking home that award?
Yeah, such an honor. I think I've always prided myself on being a pretty good student, and all the work you kind of have to put into the classroom on top of having practices if you have another job and everything, which I do. Just kind of an honor to kind of see all the work that you put into the classroom kind of take place and get rewarded for it. So it's really cool.
And talk about some of the life on campus involved in achieving that Miles Brand All Academic Award. What are some things that you have done to kind of hone in on your craft in the classroom? What's that been like?
I got very lucky with my professors. They're always willing to answer any questions that I have, kind of work with our schedule. I'm being a corporate fitness major. That's a heavy athlete-loaded major and everything. So those professors are always really understanding and are willing to help athletes out with their heavy schedules and everything.
That's got to be a nice benefit. I know we brought it up in a past episode, but that's got to be a nice benefit for you being a student athlete, being a corporate fitness major. Do you kind of apply some of those techniques into your workload with the softball team?
Yeah, for sure. There's some girls that kind of might have like an ache or something here and there, and there's a few of us that majored in corporate fitness and nursing and stuff like that applies to the medical field. So it's really cool to, once you get older and get going in the classroom and everything, you're kind of able to apply it and say, hey, like I know what this is and everything like that. So yeah, really cool.
Really cool scene right there. And you're actually familiar with Minot. You are a Minot High grad. I believe we both graduated together in 2019. How did the MSU recruitment go? What was the pull for you coming here to campus your freshman year?
Yeah, my recruitment story is kind of a unique one. So I was already kind of enrolled in another school, kind of set on not playing softball or anything like that. And then the pitching coach for Minot State at the time was my travel ball coach during the summers. And with our previous coach, he was just coming in that year too. So she kind of reached out to him and was like, hey, I have this girl. She's from Minot. You should come take a look at her and everything. And before you know it, all of a sudden I was getting a text from a coach that was also new to the school and everything. And he kind of just reached out and said, hey, I'd like to talk to you in my office. And within the next couple days, within a week, something like that, I was in his office and everything. And before I left the office, I was basically committed to come here and kind of switch my route of schooling and education and everything. And before I knew it, I was enrolling classes here and everything like that. So kind of a whirlwind of a few weeks there, but
really crazy how things can change in a hurry. Senior about some season gets going.
perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, there you have it, folks. That was Jaycie Rostad, catcher for the softball team and Minot High alum as well. Break again. John's Inside the Damn podcast. Check out Hello and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Again, this is episode 9. We just got done with a great interview with Jaycie Rostad, catcher from the softball program here on MSU campus. We want to remind everyone this Friday is the annual KMSU Beaver Basketball Series. We'll be broadcasting both the men's and women's games live from the Dome. We maybe have a pregame start time set at 5 p.m., but that could change to 5:15. Not sure quite yet, but regardless, 5:30 is when the first game will be tipping off, so be sure to check us out, KMSU TV on YouTube, this upcoming Friday. As promised, our second guest of the day, a forward on men's hockey and Fargo native, back for his second appearance on the Inside the Dam podcast. Jay Buchholz, we welcome you into the show today. Thank you for being here.
Yep, thanks for having me.
So last time we spoke, I believe it was on November 21st. A lot of games taking place, and we kind of know a little bit about your background now, and so we'll kind of focus more a little bit on the hockey side of things, but talk about some of these games that you guys have played. I mean, beat nationally ranked Central Oklahoma. You had a matchup against the Sooners of Oklahoma. Illinois State was in there. Just talk about some of these games that you guys have played, and also talk a little bit about the Central Oklahoma showcase that was being presented there.
Yeah, no, especially playing. I think it's cool being able to play teams that you haven't been able to play or you're not really familiar with, and going to that showcase was perfect for us. We got to play 3 teams that usually we're not going to play all year long, and playing a team like Central Oklahoma, a top 5 team, and being able to beat them in their barn, and even the other games were pretty competitive down there. So I think it was a great experience for us to go down there.
Yeah, what do some of those teams like? What could be like some things that you guys maybe weren't expecting from them? Obviously, you guys have beaten them already, but what are some things that maybe these teams, what do they bring to the table that you guys may not be familiar with? What kind of game plan did they bring against you guys to try and face off in your guys' matchup there?
I think at this league and at this level, everybody kind of plays the same, and everyone plays hard, that's for sure. And these teams, I think the biggest thing is just not really being familiar with them. You play your Jamestowns or Marys and teams around that, so you kind of know what they're going to be bringing. And to be able to play different teams, I think that's the hardest thing, just adjusting to what they're doing and just kind of figuring out it on the go during the game.
Yeah, cool stuff there. And some recent games as of late, you guys took on Walford University against the Warriors. Talk about that game a little bit. Most recently, last Thursday, what closer game as opposed to some of the other games that you guys played against other teams. Talk about that game a little bit.
Well, it was good. I think it was the third game, or no, it was a weekday game.
Yeah, during a Thursday night
it was.
Thursday
night.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little different. Obviously, we don't play on the weekdays that much. So, I think the guys were ready for it, but at the same time, we weren't that prepared. And they played a good game. I think we had a close around 70 shots that game, and their goalie played unbelievable. So, considering we got 4 on them, and it was a pretty closer game that we liked, but the biggest thing is just coming out with a win at that point.
Yeah, most importantly, getting the dub there. And talk about some of these rival games. How much more importance is that, against a Bottineau, Jamestown, like you said, guys had a couple games against University of Mary. They seem to have given you guys some of the toughest competition so far this year. Talk about really the impact that playing against North Dakota teams has been for you guys.
I think it's big. You play against teams that are relatively close to you, and you want to be known as the best team in North Dakota, and I think we've kind of proven that. And we still got another game against Mary and 3 more against Jamestown, so we still got to get those games finished off and make sure.
Move on from the ice to the classroom. Talk about some of your start to the semester. How have you been feeling getting prepared or getting ready for your sophomore year here at Minot State? What has that been like?
I'm getting it pretty slow. I mean, I'm kind of, I guess we've been on the road quite a bit, and that first week of school we missed because we were in Oklahoma, and we go on the road again here to Ohio this Wednesday, so we're missing a lot of school, and we go to Liberty as well in a few weeks, and then back to Boston. But school's been pretty good so far. just trying to get caught up on my classwork, go to all my classes, and then, once the season's done, then that's really time to hit the books and make sure you're getting everything done.
Yeah, I've been looking at the schedule recently, and you guys have a lot of road games as opposed to home games remaining. How do you guys balance that out? School happening and having to play a bunch of road games and being on the bus. Just how do you guys keep a perfectly tipped balance on all the schoolwork and playing hockey?
We kind of expected it. In the first half of the year, we were pretty much all home games. I think we maybe played 2, and if that, they were both in Jamestown. So we all kind of knew what was coming the second semester, and it's just part of the thing of being a student athlete. You got to go to school, and at the same time, you're going to practices and you're going out of town. And like I said, the biggest thing is just getting your schoolwork done.
Yeah, and back to the ice here. You guys obviously quickly approaching the ACHA National Tournament. And I've heard from some of the guys that you guys have played some of these 3-game weekends or 3-game series against certain teams or multiple teams for that. How has that really helped you guys prepare for, a tournament level environment, and even especially those being at home? How big of an added benefit is that, and just really add on to kind of the keep making sure you're staying healthy, staying hydrated, keeping the energy level up, and just how do you guys balance all that out together?
I think it helps a lot playing 3-game weekends, and when you go to nationals, it's going to be 4 or 5 games in about 5 days, and it's going to be a tough grind. But the games we've had 3-game weekends, we kind of want to treat it as a mini national tournament. You got to take care of the first game on Friday, the second game on Saturday, and the next the Sunday game. So it's all about focusing on the first game and then moving on from there.
Yeah, and with these road games, how have practices looked here at the Mesa ice surface during the days? And, what have you guys been working on to kind of maybe fine-tune a few things? Obviously, 13 goals against Botno. I talked to Coach. He said that's got to be a big confidence boost for you guys. what are some things that you guys have looked at and worked on in practice?
I think the biggest thing in practice we've been doing is just keeping it simple. I think at this point in the year, it's I think we've kind of not learned everything that we've got, but we know what we have to do to win games, and at that point, if we try to do too much, I think that's when we get ourselves in some trouble. So practice, just going through breakouts, making sure we're catching passes, passing on the tape, and shooting the puck on net, and I think the biggest thing is just keeping it simple.
Awesome. Well, good stuff there. We're almost about out of time here, but real quickly, I noticed the sweatshirt there. I may not be a Wild fan, but what's the story behind the sweatshirt here? Do you have a favorite? Is Minnesota your favorite team? Do you have any favorite NHL players? Did I ask you this last time? I don't know if I did, but just kind of touch on it because that's a really nice sweater, the Winter Classic.
Yeah, my girlfriend actually bought me this.
Oh, nice.
So
how thoughtful.
Yeah, I know, right? Lucky. So no, I'm a big Wild fan, and I always have been. And I guess touch on favorite players. Marion Gaborik was one of my big favorite players growing up, and
he was really good.
I was just little when I was watching him, so I've always liked him, and I think I like watching Zuccarello on the Minnesota Wild as well. So I don't know, just a huge Minnesota fan. I like the Twins, Vikings, sadly, but big Wild fan.
Yeah. All right, so big Minnesota sports guy. I love to hear that. But I just noticed the sweatshirt. It's very nice Winter Classic touch to it. But we're all out of time here. Thank you, Jay, so much for joining us again for a second time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep. You just heard, folks, Jay Buchholz, a forward on the men's hockey team. This was his second chance on the mic here on the podcast. Again, we want to remind you to check out Papa John's with their MSU special, a large 2-topping for $7.99 if you show a valid MSU ID. And also, reminder, again, this upcoming Friday, KMSU Beaver Basketball Series. Tune in 5:30 through KMSU TV on YouTube. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to see if Leaf has showed up finally. If not, we will kind of maybe fill in some time here with that, but we'll be right back after a quick break here, folks. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Inside of the Dam podcast. As always, brought to you by Papa John's. Be sure to check out their MSU special, a large 2-topping pizza, $7.99. When you go there, make sure you show a valid MSU ID. You will secure that epic deal. We thank Admir and the gang, always making great pizza and feeding us on occasion, and they were wonderful. They are continuing to be wonderful to work with our podcast, and yeah, always providing great support for the Magic City.
Sounds like breakfast and dinner right there for me.
Yeah, breakfast and dinner for sure. But yeah, so unfortunately, guys, we are live right now, but we do not have Leif Nelson with us. We do not have our third guest. He was our expected third guest, but we do not have him on board. So we're going to try, hopefully wait this thing out, wait a couple minutes. If we do go a little longer tonight, and if he does show up, we can... you kind of use that extra time to have him get ready, or if not at all, we'll just kind of recap the show a little bit here. And I'm actually joined now by my camera guy here, our camera guy, because it's not just a solo deal. Matt Bosch, behind the scenes, working on the different camera angles and the production side of things. And Matt, just kind of talk about, you participated in the Inside the Dam podcast last week. Talk about that a little bit and your first initial reaction in the interview process.
Yeah, Cole. It's not my thing. Yeah. It was my first time. I was saying my ums as I'm doing now.
And it can get nerve-wracking at first, but once you do it enough times, it does change after. So
yeah, but no, otherwise I'm usually just the camera guy. I had to write a script, come up with some questions. It's a hard work if you ever want to do a podcast.
In the shots right now as you're talking, so you're kind of doing some double duty here. We're gonna have to get that resume filled up pretty good for you. But you are also a photographer as well, kind of maybe shadowing Sean Arbo a little bit, and you are a camera guru after all. Talk about some of your experience with him and your experience kind of shooting some photos out in the field.
Yeah, sure. Well, first it didn't start with Sean. I took a photography class in high school. I did that. I'll say I didn't like it. I hated it. But then I took a communications class in high school as well during the same time. And this is what made me fall in love with it at first. So my teacher gave me this rinky-dinky Nikon camera that you just can't do anything with. And he says, take 100 photos of people in a week. I said, that's impossible. And he's like, you can do it. I'm like, what do I do? I decided to shoot a football game. It hit the fan. I'll say that. It really was really bad, but somehow I actually got some good shots, like seriously. And I went, like, at the end of the week, I went to him like, okay, here's my shots. He's just like, dude, these are good.
These are really good.
I know. So I'm like, okay,
these hit the spot.
Now I really like this and I'm actually good at it. So I'm going to pursue this. Like, I'm just going to study on YouTube. And then I bought my first camera. It was about altogether like camera, telephoto lens, and a wide angle. It was about like $800.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I shot state cross country because DLB had their first ever cross country team, and I was on it. I was a runner, I know.
Fun fact: Matt is from Delax Burlington High School, so that any DLB references now you know. Why? So
yeah, and then just like I just kept taking pictures, learning some more stuff, buying some more gear, and then just like now I'm the official photographer for Delax Burlington High School. And now since I went to MSU, I've been working with and helping with Sean Arbo. First thing that happened, he was wondering if I could help him with a soccer game because he had to do a wedding. So I just covered for him. So I'm like, okay, I'll cover for you. Cool. It was, and I'll say it. Shooting for college is actually really hard and like fast paced because you have to have photos in by like halftime and edited and have all your information on it. It's insane. And so, yeah, I did that. It worked out. Sean's just like, okay, you're going to do more. You're going to cover for me more because now he has a gig with Getty. and NDSU now.
Getty Images, that's right. He's been doing a couple of those things, shooting for the football team. Unfortunately, lost to South Dakota State in the national championship, in the FCS national championship. But man, that's a crazy opportunity. So,
Hey.
but you making the jump there and shooting some photos for athletics, that's a pretty big deal.
I like to say this a lot when we're taking photos and I show people like them losing. I'm just like, hey, don't worry about the context. It's about the content. I know that sounds
Content.
bad, but we need content, not context.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
It's pretty bad, but like, it's kind of true.
Yeah, I've noticed the graphics for MSU athletics. They're just kind of a generic, text box, then text box to text box, just on a generic screen. I've seen them work on it in Photoshop, but they also have a photo frame, like you can just insert, with Photoshop editing services. We have those here on in our studios, and I just see them. They move the photo and they attach it to that frame, and I mean it looks really cool. And I mean it's just phenomenal job that they do, and it's like you mentioned. I can kind of understand. They need stuff by halftime because they do halftime scores. They do and a period breaks in hockey or something. Any sort of break that's about to happen, it sounds like you got to have a nice looking photo. It's something for like you said, content wise, something for
and
their graphics.
It has to go to two places. It has to go to one, Ashley, our social media person. She does a great job. She does all the Photoshop graphics and stuff for like Instagram, Twitter, and that kind of stuff. And then we give it to another guy. His name is Mike. I think, but
Mike Stetson.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah.
I think Ashley Malloy does the social media. Yeah, shout out to those guys.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Sure.
And you got to make sure too, because like Ashley, she'll take like the straight up just edited photo, but Mike, he needs like a
back live, folks. Again, we do apologize. Some audio technical difficulties. It seemed like it lasted for just a quick minute there, but we do have a backup on the audio board that will be applied. It may take extra work, but it's just a situation we're given, so we will work as best we can with that, trying to match up everything together. But now that the stream is back, Matt, is there anything else you'd like to mention? Experience, shooting photos for athletics. You've done soccer. You've done what other games? With Sean, and I know actually you did wrestling before. I remember. Kind of tell us a little bit about that game day staff process, I guess.
Well, I just show up. Usually about 30 minutes before the game. I kind of just like get my spot and just kind of hang out. And this is like when Sean is here or not. Because usually like I'm with him, and just like we just kind of hang out and just get our like laptops ready and all our information ready to import everything. And then like stuff comes and we just gotta shoot. And then so when I'm not with him, I'm usually like kind of stressed out and a little rushy, because like I've never been in like this high situation before, because usually for DLB I just like take the photos, go back home, go through them. That kind of days, kind of like la-di-da-di-da with it, because they don't need it as bad as MSU does. But MSU, like, they want your stuff and everything, just make sure like everything can go out. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. It's been great learning experience, I'll say, because Sean has helped me a lot. So has Ashley. Like, they've been the best, I say. Yeah,
It has to be cool, and especially, given that they've had extended time in the field, and must be great to learn, from people that can help teach you along the way and help you, grow your craft a little bit. And that's just really, really cool stuff, man. And anything else you'd like to mention? We're just kind of just laying back this segment. Hopefully we do get Leaf to join us here later, but just kind of laid back segment here, talking with Matt Bosch about his photography gig and shadowing Sean. Anything else part of your experience that you have would like to mention, or something that maybe caught you off guard, or something that was interesting, something maybe along the lines of, any learning experiences? What have you seen from that?
I guess just every day's learning experience with that stuff, because like just today I just got some flash equipment in the mail, so I'm going to be taking like, I don't know, probably 2 to 3 weeks learning that stuff, because I have prom photo shoots coming up too. I made sure to buy that stuff for prom so I could do better portraits, better photos on the dance floor and stuff. And you're like always learning. Like, there's something just like, even because like most of my schooling for photography, YouTube University, it's just everything is just YouTube, and it's great. And also like the content for like photography and that kind of stuff, it just keeps growing. Like, you think like you learn it all with photography. No, like there's like a new technique that just like pops out of nowhere, and there's always like camera gear like being released, and then there's new features and other stuff that goes with it that makes your life like better, easier. Now I know people say like gear isn't everything, but like sometimes it is, just because like if you have like the rinkiest dinky camera ever, and then you have like a $6,000 camera, there's a big difference in quality. I'm just gonna say that there's a big difference in quality. But yeah, but otherwise, just like you're always learning. You're always like learning new things. You're learning different processes of how you like post process. That's a big one for me. I'm still learning how to post process a lot better. But yeah, it's just you're learning all the time.
What has been your favorite sport to cover on campus?
On campus, or like just,
or I guess
everything I've done.
Maybe not on campus, but everything you've done. Yeah.
Probably track and field.
Track and field?
I was a track and field teen. I did hurdles in track and field, so I would always like go to a meet and bring my camera and shoot photos. And like there's always something to do. There's running, there's hurdles, there's jumping, there's high jumping, there's pole vault, there's discus, there's shot put, there's javelin. There's a lot of events, and you're always going to get a variety of photos. It's just going to be great. It's just going to be a fun time. That's probably my favorite I've done for like sports wise. But for MSU wise, probably my favorite was wrestling. Probably girls wrestling, when they had their first ever duel at MSU.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I took photos with that because I was just prepping for the
That's got to be fun.
I was prepping for wrestling with Sean because he had to go the next day and I had to cover for him. But that was a lot of fun. That was with the spotlight and everything. Like, it's so good. I love it. It's awesome.
And we were very fortunate to have a couple of those women's wrestlers on the program here for the past couple shows, and just talk about the environment. I know I was there too, but what were your initial thoughts? While we talk good stuff on MSU athletics here, while we continue that, just talk about what were your initial thoughts for a team in its inaugural home match, in its inaugural season. Is there a different feel to it? I would assume there's a different feel. What was just kind of the feelings behind that?
Yeah, it was a different feeling because, like, okay, I've never been like a big sports fiend, like watching them, but like I could just tell, like, this is important because this is like the first girls wrestling meet or duel ever, like ever. For my,
it's historical.
It is historical,
yeah.
And I was with Sean that time, and he was like, yeah, I got to get this stuff like badly because like this is like historic. And he had a brand new camera he got from Sony. He was renting it out for a bit. That he made sure like he got like the highest quality photos of all time. Like,
Oh yeah.
it was good. I was just following him. He's just like, okay, time to make history.
Boom.
Yeah.
First ever photo.
There we go. Yep, I made history.
First ever home dual photo.
Yeah.
That's got to be a great feeling.
But no, I'm sure. But I'm happy.
I'd feel the same way if
Yeah.
I were you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy that they got to make history like that, the team, and I hope to see a lot of new faces when this program grows even more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
No, I'm right there with you. Yeah, a little bit on the struggle bus as of late, losing to Jamestown and set lofty expectations for a new team like that. You know, it's brand new. You don't know what to expect. New coach, new players, new everything. Everyone's all in a new situation, and you know, quite frankly, it's worked out for the couple of coaches. You know, the Mitchums are very close, and Brittany Mitchum, she has a son. He's there for pretty much all the home duels, and gosh, I'm already blanking the other name. Tim. I think it's Tim Mitchum. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong. Any one of you watching, but I believe it's Tim Mitchum. Yeah, he took an assistant coach job with the men's group, and you know, sometimes really good to see things pan out like that. And but yeah, like going back to what we were saying about the women's wrestling team, it's for an inaugural season, first ever time being there. You know, you just see how it plays out, and you know, there's room for growth in the future, room for potential, and they have a lot of great players on there, certainly, a lot of players that have certainly shown out in some of these road tournaments and also some home duels as well. And yeah, wishing all the best for them as we now approach over 40 minutes in the podcast. What do you say, Matt? We go till 45?
Sure, let's go till 45.
Go till 45. So yeah, it looks like we're just a couple minutes away here, folks. It sounds like this is just going to be the last segment. If we can get Leaf on in the near future, we will certainly provide that for you guys. Or if it's just a quick, you know, pop by tomorrow, we can certainly get his segment added, and maybe this segment. I don't know what we do with this one quite yet, but yeah.
What about we talk about the basketball game, the doubleheader coming up on Friday?
Yes, I've mentioned that a few times. You guys have heard already. Matt's going to be up top on one of the cams.
Yeah,
for the third floor.
That'll be the first game. I'll be up top on
first game,
on close up cam, and then after that, I'll be down the floor on the second game. Yeah, that'll be fun. It'll be good practice for me since I'll be with WDAY in March. So that'll be good practice for me.
Yep. So Matt has a deal with WDAY. He's going to shoot. He's going to be on camera for the state basketball tournament coming to town March 2nd through March 4th, I believe.
Yes,
and,
for the girls.
Yeah, for the girls' state tournament taking place at the Dome, and it'll be a great experience. You get a lot of great benefits, I assume, with it, and
free food.
Yeah, free food as well. Yep, yep. I might be there for a little bit. Without mentioning names, I'll definitely check out some of the schools that are playing. I'm not sure. We'll see if some of the local teams do. Like we got some pretty big steep competitors here in town, but the field is also wide open, and there's a lot of contenders this year, as always, like every year. And there's also that 3-class system they're being proposed, and it looks like it could go through. We don't know. We'll see. But my bet is that it will go through, and we'll just see how it goes. But state tournament, girls at the MSC Dome, March 2nd through March 4th. Matt, anything else you'd like to add to this segment before we head off here?
I just hope I don't get hit by a basketball player. Yeah, it happened. It did happen to me. I felt bad for the basketball. I felt more bad for the basketball player. I'm just there to do my job.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it happens. But standing on the baseline is never easy because you don't know what you're going to expect. Even I sit at those on those seats, that pull out from the stanchions, man, it feels like something's going to happen. You always got to be aware of it. But yeah, good point that Matt brought up here. Like we mentioned, the KMSU annual Beaver Basketball Series. We'll just give ourselves a quick promo here. February 3rd, this Friday, we'll be broadcasting both the men's and women's teams. We have a great relationship with Beck Sports. They gave us the okay to do it, and we are excited to bring you some of that coverage. We'll have, obviously Matt on camera. I will be on the host table, and a lot of great, wonderful talent as well. We got play-by-play, a color commentator, even some floor reporters. Roles are going to switch from game to game, but it's always a fun experience for all of us, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. And Dean from Homesteaders is looking to feed us as well, and he'll be folks. Again, we will. I know we did promise Leaf Nelson earlier. Unfortunately, he was not able to make it tonight. If in the next day or so, or in the near future, if we do have him on board, we will try to get a segment in with him, and we'll discuss with athletics then. But as always, thank you to MSU Athletics for this partnership, and we're very thankful for them to provide us some of these guests, and we just being able to help put it together. It's all in a great time. So, Matt, any final thoughts?
Again, roll beeves.
Again, roll beeves. I like it. All right, that's going to be all for this episode, folks. Again, you just watched episode 9. I am your host, Cole Clementich, and I was joined by...
I'm Matt Bosch.
Yep, Matt Bosch, behind the scenes, running tech on specifically the camera switching. We will return next week for hopefully another 3 guests from MSU Athletics. Most particular, some that have maybe good weekends in their respective sport. But again, thank you guys for tuning in to watch, and have a good night. Again, as always, thanks to Papa John's.